Welcome to the recruiting intel, on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That's Coach Dub. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Of course, we got to make sure y'all get over to Inside Texas. It's the first link in the description here on this video. Join for the best Texas Longhorns analysis, the best Texas Longhorns inside info, recruiting scoop, and the best Texas Longhorns community. If you do that, you'll get access for just $1 and a full year of The Athletic. Plus, got to tell y'all, this Friday at Texas Live in Arlington on the big stage, Inside Texas will be at the Red River Reunion presented by the Bear Bryant Award. It'll be us. It'll be the Oklahoma Breakdown with Gabe Eichert and Teddy Lehman. And then it'll be Mack Brown and Barry Switzer sharing some great stories from their time on the sidelines of the Red River Shootout. So it should be a lot of fun. We will be going at 12 p.m. We'll be right after Gabe and Teddy, and then Mack and Barry will take the stage. Great event, free to attend there in Arlington, right by Globe Life and Globe Life, or I guess it's Choctaw now. So come check it out. It should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see a lot of y'all there over the course of this entire weekend. But we'll talk about the game on this channel, plenty more. We got to talk a little bit about recruiting, and we're kind of at that point in the year, Justin, where we've got 5 pieces of data. We've got 5 games, 2 against Power 5 opponents, and we know what Texas may need for next year. And we talk about recruiting needs the whole time and numbers and all that. And the portal definitely changes everything with how, you build a roster and things like that. At the same time, there's still going to be some freshmen in this 2026 class who are A, either capable of seeing the field early, or B, end up seeing the field early.
Yes. And for Texas fans, when your team is 3-2, you start looking at that list a little bit longer, a little bit harder to see what sort of reinforcements are on their way at certain spots. It's only natural. But yeah, there's a handful of these guys that are going to have to come in and either make an impact. Some of them are going to play right away. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt. They haven't flipped the offensive tackle yet. That's going to play day one. That's still on the back burner. They haven't done that yet because none of the offensive linemen coming in right now are going to be ready to play. And so that's significant. But there's other spots. And to me, most notably, it's Derek Cooper. I think Derek Cooper I know for a fact Derek Cooper plays day one. I don't know if he's going to start. It's going to depend on the portal tailback they bring in. But he is definitely going to play day one only because he has an explosiveness that is lacking in that running back room right now.
And Coach, this comment from Alfredo kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Need some money whip some top O linemen this cycle. Yeah, you want to sign highly rated guys every time, but we always say, there are special talents at offensive line who can play right away. But from what Texas needs, they're going to need guys who have played college football who can play right away.
Yeah, most definitely. I can see Texas definitely spending some top dollars on some transfer portal guys. I think that as everybody knows, they see a hole and it needs to be patched up. Like the little quick fixer guy on the infomercials. Like that's what the transfer portal offensive lineman can do. So hopefully this offseason there's some guys in there worthy of, bringing in. If anything, you bring in a veteran who's played a ton of football who can help you right away and bridge the other young guys along. So I definitely see Texas doing that. And as we always say, everybody's working the back channels. Everybody kind of knows who may go into the portal. So you get on those phone lines and you find out.
It's kind of funny. It used to be coaching searches were always done with an intermediary when it was and they still are, whether it was a search firm or just communicating with agents or things like that. Now, player searches are kind of done via intermediaries as well.
Well, don't forget, collectives can reach out to a player at any moment and during the season on another campus. Yeah. I found that fascinating.
Well, as long as they're not the school-tied ones. And Texas is still not school tied. I don't think. Well, we don't know for sure one way or the other if Texas 1 is doing that. But at all the same, you can go through thousands of different channels to get your message to the guy you want. But we're going to talk about the guys that we anticipate being on campus. Most of them, I think we can just operate with the assumption that they're going to enroll early because the exceptions tend to be, fewer than the options or the surprising things instead of the guys who do enroll early. And guys, I think it's kind of good to maybe put it in two buckets: the can play right away and the will play right away. And Justin, I'm going to stake a position that I don't think Diabell can play right away at Texas next season.
I don't think he will play right away either. So I think he's the outlier in this scenario. He's going to need time to heal, and he's going to need time to learn the offense. And don't be surprised if they go back into the portal, because I think Caldwell exhausts his eligibility this year. Mm-hmm. And so, there's probably going to be – they're probably going to lose another one of their quarterbacks in the portal around December. So they're going to have to get another guy from the portal to be the backup until they can get Diabell ready to be the backup, and that could take 6 months, a year, whoever knows. He's an outlier. I don't think he fits in either one of our buckets compared to the other guys.
Coach, I mean, top 10 overall prospect, 5-star in every service. You kind of think like, oh, he should be ready, but there's a lot more to it than just showing up and throwing the football.
A whole lot. Can you read a defense? Like, there's so many things the high school kids have not seen at the college level. It's a ton. Unless you're going to let them read one side of the field, I don't think nobody wants to put a young guy there, especially at quarterback. And there's a lot of growing pains. I can't really think of a freshman who just came in and set the world on fire. It may be, I don't know. I can't think of one, honestly. I mean, Tim Tebow was used sparingly, right, in the championship run, but Michael Vick. If you run triple option, maybe, hey, that you can use your legs, but it's tough for a young guy to come in, especially at quarterback, and play right away. If you do that, you're really not going to have a successful season. That's a growing season if you have to play a freshman at quarterback.
Yeah.
Even we can just kind of look at Dylan Raiola, and he's in a very different situation. But even he is going through some growing pains. And Tedapari brings us up Trevor Lawrence, but he wasn't even starting quite right away. It was Kelly Bryant there before they finally.
It was that loss to Syracuse. It was the next week Trevor started and never not started.
Right. So, again, I think the conversation is can play and then will play. And with Dia, it's going to take a little bit. What about Richard Wesley? I think when you can look at this and you see someone like Ethan Burke exhausting his eligibility, you see someone like Lance Jackson, not sure if he goes Jack or Buck next year, maybe a little bit of both. It seems more interchangeable now. I kind of view Richard Wesley in the can play, but I'm not sure if he's in the will play. What do y'all think?
I definitely got him in the can play. Probably won't. I mean, you got Zena, Zulu. Lance is playing early. You never know what Justice Terry body is going to be, right? He may stay at edge. So that's another body that you can throw out there. And I think they have so many guys at the position. You still got Colin Simmons coming back. Yeah. I think he can play, but will he? I'm just not sure with the numbers. And you got Smith Orogbo, I want to mention, who got in the game late versus Sam Houston State. Showed his quick first step. So you got a ton of guys in the edge room. So I think he can play, but I don't think he will.
I agree with both of you. He's in the can category.
I'm excited to see where he goes. And, he's listed at 6'4.5", 244 here. Probably sounds about right. I wonder when he shows up on campus what they'll list him at. That kind of sounds like a jack. And as we've written about plenty on Inside Texas, that's an important position. That's a tough position physically to get things going at. Tyler Atkinson, Justin, where do you fall on this one?
He will play. He will play very, very, very early. He is the guy to come in after Anthony Hill Jr. goes in the first or second round of the 2026 NFL draft. Leona LaFau and Ty Anthony Smith are going to be your starters next year, and they're going to be fantastic. But Tyler Atkinson's going to be one of the first off the bench. I actually think Elijah Barnes is going to be – it'll be him and Elijah Barnes getting a lot of pairings together because I think Barnes is going to take another big step. But Atkinson will play in 2026.
Charlie?
I would say he's going to play. You got to put him on the field, man. I think he's a special talent. If it's not special teams, you find a way for him to play. They like to rotate a lot of people on defense anyway, so I think he's going to play.
And with this, I didn't really want to use as many special teams cop-outs just because of course, and they seem to like playing more of their frontline guys on those special teams. But I think we've always kind of recognized that Atkinson has exceptional athletic traits. And he's getting there as a linebacker. He's not raw, but he's kind of like Anthony Hill.
Refined.
Yeah, he's like Anthony Hill, about 15 pounds lighter, I think. than maybe when Hill was coming out of Denton.
Anthony
Ryan.
Hill was 235 as a freshman.
Man.
So yeah. And that's
And
Atkinson is
playing
gonna,
some edge.
Yeah.
Atkinson's going to grow. And like I said, he probably has the athletic ability to play right away and will use that in some form or fashion. Because there's
a good room there that he's going to have to like get into that, get those reps from. I'm telling you, Elijah Bo Barnes is not going to blink when Tyler walks into that room.
Right.
And we've seen what Ty Anthony Smith has been doing. So,
dude, that dude's probably, besides Jelani McDonald, maybe the best playmaker on the defense.
Derek Cooper, Justin, you've kind of talked about it with just that explosive ability. But Coach, we've heard Sark even mention, like, it's not just run around and use your athleticism to get past these guys. You got to learn a little bit, just maybe reading zone blocking, doing that for the first time in your life. But with Derek Cooper, those traits are kind of like, okay, we'll figure something out here.
Yeah, he's too explosive to kind of keep off the field, especially if they fully commit to the gap scheme. I think he's able to hit it and go. He can see a crease and he can hit it faster than anybody else I think they have in the room right now, man. And so Cooper, I think he definitely will play. He's just a home run threat ability. You just find a way to give him the ball and see what he can do. I mean, I think he's going to run away from people, make people miss him, maybe run through a few arm tackles. Even when he gets to his body, like he's ready to play. He's bigger than most kids coming in, so I think he definitely will play.
Justin, is this a case where even if they go grab a running back from the portal, Cooper's still got the talent to make things happen?
There's another category, another bucket. Has to play. Eric Cooper has to play, period.
I love it. James Johnson.
I put him in the Justice Terry category. I think he's going to come along like Justice Terry. He's going to come in. He's going to do pretty well in the spring, do pretty well in the summer, but he's probably a year away from like actual game action. So I think he's going to be on the Justice Terry track because they're actually pretty similar size-wise. Right. Justice a little bit bigger, obviously, but yeah, same type of talent.
And Coach, one of the other things is, Justice, when you're looking at some of these talents, like Justice Terry, we all saw it. Justin, you saw it live and in person. Like he was playing 2A Georgia football. That looks a little bit different than the SEC, no matter what physical gifts that he has. Looks a little bit different than Ohio State coming to town week 1 or 2 next year. But for someone like that, they're not going to be a 5-year player. They're probably not even going to be a 4-year player. Like you'd like to redshirt them, maybe sneak an extra year if possible. But you can still develop guys and play them in spurts without demanding that, okay, just take a seat and see you next year.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and with that deep room with the rotation, how they let everybody play, I think you can see him in the first 4 games especially, right? Let him get some experience, get his feet wet. But that room is, depending on who all comes back, that's a deep room next year too. So they have
Sharma.
Guys. He may use LeVon and
Sharma.
That's it. Yeah, he still got Sharma. He still got LeVon Justin, who has a couple years left. Melvin Hill, like you have so many bodies in that room. We'll see how he works his way into the rotation when he comes in the spring. But yeah, that's a deep room. So I don't know about that one. I think he can play, depending if he's ready physically.
Yes, will, probably not.
What's kind of the latest with him and some of the other schools from the state of Florida?
Yeah, one down there in Coral Gables is coming at them hard as they are for a lot of Texas recruits. It seems like the Miami Hurricanes have not given up and pursuing him heavy. I mean, look, a talent like that, I wouldn't either, right? I think this one of those recruitments that goes to December to signing day, just see what happens.
Before we keep going, got to show some love to one of our sponsors. That is Game Time. If you're looking to get to the Red River Shootout, if you're looking to get to an NFL game, maybe even a baseball playoff game, NHL, NBA starting, F1 in Austin, you got to go to Game Time. Use the Game Time app or gametime.co. The best prices. You get an all-in price at checkout, so you're not waiting on fees or taxes or anything like that. You know how much you're paying. You know you're paying you're paying a price better than anywhere else you'll find. And one of the best parts is right in that app, you'll see what your view is like, and you can kind of see where the sun's shining too. A little bit important thing to note for the Cotton Bowl this Saturday or any Saturday or Sunday or Monday through Friday. They play football every day, it seems like. So go to Game Time, gametime.co. Use the promo code ON3, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. You'll get to take advantage of all these great attributes and offers that they provide. No better place to get tickets and game time. Promo code On3, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. We will keep on going. Charlie, I'm curious on this one, especially after we saw Nick Brooks, who we've thought can play tackle at some point in his career or will play tackle. He's playing guard. And I'm kind of curious if you see maybe a similar potential outcome for Turntine, or is this someone they're going to try to keep at tackle and train at that position for his future?
I really think it depends on how big he is. I guess the start of next year. I know he enrolls early, and so it depends on how big he is. He may kick inside, or he can play tackle, just depending on need. I think it's a can play, but will he? I'm not really sure. It just really depends. Is he ready physically to play? I know he can mentally. He probably pick up the offensive playbook. He's a smart kid, can pick up schemes, what teams are trying to do to him, and as far as games up front. But I don't know, man. He's a tough kid. He may have to play. It just depends who they get in the portal. He may have to play.
And hey, Charlie, real quick, where do you think Nick Brooks projects?
I think he's a mauling right guard. Honestly,
Really?
I did. I wouldn't,
Charlie. That's the first of many I'm going to do this to.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I don't want him on the outside. I mean, I see his kick step. I don't know if he can move that.
There is no kick step. It's called a dub step.
He tried it playing left guard last Saturday. I was like, oh no, we don't kick step at that position. But hey, I definitely see him playing guard. I think he's a mauler. If we want to run gap scheme behind him, perfectly. But anything zone, having him moving, it's like Cam Williams. You put him in a bad position.
Exactly. He is a guard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This kind of is a good opportunity for Jose Castillo's question. Do you think Sark and company go after offensive linemen that are lighter, but you put weight on them once you get on campus? It's that whole big humans thing, and that was a good tagline for social media.
You get the best guys.
I think they want the best guy, and oftentimes those best guys are already 280, 290 as they're going through their high school career. Not all the time. It doesn't always work that way. But I don't think you're going to see them just go big bang, big crunch, and maybe try to take on a little bit of the Tom Herman way of doing things. This is a fun one, though. Jermaine Bishop, I think he is. Justin play and will play. Will play.
Has to play. Will play. Gonna play. Line up buckets because he's a walking bucket. He's gonna play. You know why? They need that explosiveness on the outside. Can you imagine Ryan and Livingston on the outside and having Jermaine Bishop running like a skinny post inside? Fellas, Chris Jackson can.
Charlie, do you see him maybe being more outside? Because when I'm looking at just what he looks like physically, I don't know if it's like for like, but his weight's kind of in the Xavier Worthy territory. Right. And they didn't put Worthy inside. And we know how much
he's a little stockier than Worthy is, just from appearances.
But is this someone who you kind of you keep on the outside, and you're not just doing the flies, post, and stops, but you keep him there to take advantage of that speed?
I think you can. I mean, I think he can play all positions, but you can leave him outside if he can, so he can beat press and get away from some bigger corners. Then throw him outside. I think you'll get a good test of that. But he has to play, and I'm putting him in the return game as well. I think that's your return guy.
Actually, that's what he started off doing.
That's it. And so if you want to juice up special teams, you put him back there. But I think with him, you finally get a guy who could take those bubble screens to the house and make multiple.
Yes.
Just get him the ball and let him do the rest. I don't think we have many on the roster who can do that. Just say, here you go, and you make it happen. I think he's one.
I don't think he starts. Matter of fact, I definitely don't think he starts. Day-Day McCutcheon is going to be that inside guy, in my opinion, but he's going to be in the rotation. Kalik Lockett is going to be on the outside with Livingstone and Livingston and Wingo and those guys. Like there's a place for a special athlete like that.
And this kind of brings up some questions we saw. What happens with French and Terry? And there's a lot of people who looked at Ken Coleman last year, Ryan Williams last year, Jeremiah Smith last year, Dallas Wilson this year, and are like, well, why aren't Texas 5-star guys playing right away? Terry is a unique thing. Like Terry he was here's the ball, go do everything for his high school. And there was not a whole lot of DeCorian, he's doing great this year. There was not a whole lot of, I guess, wide receiver tasks that Terry had to do for Alamo Heights. It looks a lot different when you're playing at this level. We have seen Khalil Lockett get some action this year and was able to, play. And we know he got, I'm not sure how much of a volume it was, but we know he got some opportunities with the first string during camp. But it's also, yes, these guys have physical traits. And I know it seems like it's a cop-out, like, oh, it's a complicated offense and things like that. But it is. They've got to learn it. And yet I'm also still like, we've seen what Parker Livingston's doing. Mm-hmm. We've seen what Ryan Wingo's doing. DeAndre Moore, I think we're still waiting a little bit more, to see a little bit more from him. But like, do you take those guys off? I don't know. I think it's a very tough balancing act.
Season.
It's a very tough balancing act. These guys, I think, have the physical talent, obviously, to be able to do it. But for some, the game comes at a different pace than others, and for guys, and also like the thing with Dallas Wilson is that was a little bit out of, I don't want to say out of necessity, but like who else are they playing, right? Like I think when you have who are you going to cede snaps to take them away from Ryan Wingo? I don't know if there's a guy like that on Florida. And yeah, when you got, literally the other guys like Coleman, Williams, DeCorian, Smith, like those were literal, I think, top 3 players in the country. And usually I kind of throw guys in the same bucket when they're have 5 stars by their name. But at some point you got to put a line somewhere and say, okay, these guys are a little bit different. And I think that may have been the case for some of what's going on. And, it's on Chris Jackson. It's on Steve Sarkisian to maybe explain why some of these guys are not getting it. We may not get more than just, they got to get the techniques and fundamentals down. We've heard in camp that was some of the things that kind of limited their possibility of playing. They had opportunities in spring with Wingo all messed up. They had not all messed up, but they had opportunities with some of those guys sidelined throughout spring to show it. Then Wingo, Moore, and Livingston came back, have showed their case. And it's not impossible. McCutcheon got it too. So look at this one from Lane. Do we have any unique guys in the class? Always like one curveball guy like Lil Jordan, Roschon Johnson, Parker Livingston. Lil Jordan was a curveball. Roschon Johnson, they kind of got lucky as his career went on. Livingston wasn't a curveball, but Justin, do you see anybody kind of like Lil Jordan?
Michael Terry.
That
was the exact comp.
Okay.
Of Little Jordan Humphrey out of high school. Michael Terry. Yeah, he's a unique guy. Are you talking about in the current 26 class or that signed?
This 2026 class.
I mean, the top end are unique in some form or fashion, but if you're looking for Swiss Army knives, I don't see it.
I'm struggling to see it a little bit too at this point.
You've got guys that have positional projection, and I got to be honest with you, coaches really prefer that. Players really prefer that because then you can hone in on something and get really good at it instead of like a Ryan Niblett learning 3 or 4 different positions in 3 or 4 different years and never really making a niche.
I kind of wonder if you could maybe use Bishop in the way they use Niblett. You have to, of course, account for his size, but maybe that's something that you can think about using him next year. And
Bishop would be so much more comfortable doing that. Ryan, it almost feels like it's not organic. It's almost like they've forced him into a box, and he's just doing the best he can in that regard. But Bishop is just more fluid anyway. Ryan is the track kid, okay? Ryan, you're not going to see a track kid play as bad as football like that. Like Ryan's that kind of kid. Bishop is more football refined, in my opinion.
We'll keep it going. Samari Matthews, where do y'all coach? Do you see him as a can play, must play, will play? Where do you see him fitting in?
I don't know. That DB room is kind of deep. They got a lot of young guys got baptized this past Saturday, but I think you see a lot of young talent who can play. I think Samari fits in a room where he can play if he's called upon, but I don't know. I don't think he will play. It just depends on the numbers and who comes back and what the room looks like next year. So ton of guys in that room who can play already. And maybe Grayson Littleton slides outside. You got Cade Phillips, who for me, he actually looked good Saturday to me. So you still got, a ton of other guys over there. I'm not sure. I think he can play though.
Justin?
He could play, but I don't think he will. And don't forget, one of his interviews in April on campus, he had mentioned they had talked about Starr along with playing corner. Now, I think Samari long-term is a corner, no doubter. But sometimes they like to usher those guys in by mixing them up and mixing them around. I could see Samari possibly doing that. But if Littleton moves out to corner, it's going to be hard for Samari to get on the field as a freshman.
Yeah. I'll hit this one before I hit Vonnie Cleveland. Are you putting Bishop over French and Terry? Yeah, I might.
You have to put him over French.
I really might. Keep it moving. Vonnie Cleveland. Justin, what do you think on this one?
Can, but won't. Can, but won't. He needs some work. He needs some work.
I think that's fine when you got these defensive linemen. Like, this is a position that you want to turn into a factory.
Exactly.
You want it to be a process, and you can get some unique guys who are able to play right away, like Alex January. But remember, those were only occasional snaps. Justice Terry, it's occasional snaps, and I think that kind of applies for Dylan Berryman as well. Like,
I think Berryman's a little bit more ready, actually college ready. I think he has a better frame. I think he has a little bit better tape. I love Vodney, you know that. But like both those guys, they need to be assembly line style. They don't need to be in the rotation just yet. They need to figure out what that rotation is about and then be ready in 12 months.
Chris Stewart, where do y'all land on him, Justin?
Red shirt.
Yeah, I see red shirt.
Yes. I think so too.
That's a kid that can develop. Like, we don't talk about Chris Stewart enough, and I think it's because he committed so early, and a lot of times kids get forgotten when they jump into a class early and there's not any drama to him. Listen, Chris Stewart is a kid that you don't pay attention to, he's going to burn you. And so I think a red shirt's coming because all those receivers are coming back to that room. That's what's going to make it difficult for these guys is everyone's returning. But for Stewart, I see a red shirt.
And I will say this, he will learn, like McCutcheon, he had nuances of the game and route running down. He trains pretty much, and we talked about a number of times with the Shea Milburn. So I think he'll have some stuff, some route running and route tree down coming in early over some other guys. But I think the room is just too deep for him to play. But I think he'll actually get it mentally before a lot of other kids will.
Yes.
Before we keep going, going to knock out one of our other sponsors, and that is Rhoback. There's only one way to describe Rhoback. Best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Rhoback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Rhoback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Rhoback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Rhoback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code TEXAS20 on Rhoback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas20. I think we can kind of go through some of these guys as we're getting a little bit further down the ranking and stuff like that, and seeing, if there's anybody who can pop into the can play category. Corey Wells, Justin, where do you see your cousin, your long lost cousin?
Yeah, cousin Corey is a can play as well. He kind of fits into that same category with Vonnie Cleveland and Dylan Berryman. However, I see more Sharma in Corey Wells because he's already a big joker. And so of that group, I could see him getting to the field maybe a little bit sooner, but it's not needed.
I'm going to start scrolling a little slowly. Stop me if you see anybody. I do want to kind of point out, remember Cole Hudson, there was that 2022 class where you had top 10 guys like DJ Campbell and Kelvin Banks.
Cam Williams.
Cole Hudson was someone who jumped in and started playing right away. So just because your stars are a little bit, you maybe have one or two fewer than some of the guys around you, doesn't mean that you're incapable of playing right away, especially with you getting to a college nutrition program. But stop me if you see anybody who is in the can play category, or maybe in the.
We talked about. We've got a lot of questions about offensive linemen, and it's look. Max Wright is a big kid already. Okay, he has. If it's needed out of necessity, I could see him playing as a freshman. The kid is well into a college size, ready to go. It would be mentally, I think, at this point, in game speed and things of that sort. But if you're looking for any help from that offensive line, Max Wright's really the one that has the most ready body, and at a position with the most necessity. So, like I said, he's been getting bigger and bigger over the years. He's a lot bigger than some of these other ones, and so I see Max Wright there. I love Cohen Brown. Not real sure how long it's going to be till he's on the field. He's just going to be behind a lot of guys. And they understand that it's sometimes you have to beat out guys, and he's going to have 3 or 4 guys ahead of him.
Definitely.
And so
the one thing on Max Wright that I may push back on a little bit is, he's got the body, but like, hey, there are Dylan Stewarts and Colin Simmons out there.
The strength,
and that's going to be tough. So maybe his career kind of looks like Nick Brooks is a little bit, but we'll see about that going forward.
Don't do that.
Cohen Brown, Yaheem Riley, think they're guys that it's going to take a little bit. The one thing I'm not going to go
specialist.
Mikey, come on, Joe, take it from here.
I know
us these next 3 and what they're going to do.
I know that there's a lot of concern about specialists, and after seeing a freshman punter and kicker, I think Mikey's capable, because he kind of looks like Jack Bomeister, and I'm starting to become a little bit of a size queen when it comes to punters too. We'll see what happens. One of the reasons that I forget the guy who transferred out to Cal, he could kick it all right, but he couldn't aim it, and then he got a little bit dinged up. If Mikey can show that he can aim it, he'll play next year. Jake, I don't know. That's when I feel like you can maybe go get a 1-year guy. Trot, I think he's going to play.
Yeah,
because Lance St. Louis is graduating. I think the walk-on they have may also be graduating as well. And again, 6'2", 235. That's what you're looking for from a long snapper. So you may see a couple more freshman specialists. I know that's kind of been a point of contention for a lot of fans, especially after last year. But I think maybe we'll see another portal kicker. Maybe they'll grab someone and utilize the walk-on ranks. I don't know. But Mikey and Trot, I can definitely see playing. So
did Mason Shipley use his COVID year?
This is his last year.
I'm just saying he could go. He could be like Diego Pavia. He could go to. Let's take this thing to court. Let's go to court. Get this kid another year of eligibility. The kid is nails, and we're not even watching it happen. He's that good. Let's do that.
And he's showing kickoff stuff. So, if he wants it, I guess he can take it now.
Let's work towards this.
I think
eligibility. Let's fight the NCAA. What are they going to do?
Eligibility is just a social construct. So, all right, that'll be that's another good episode of Recruiting Intel. Thank you for watching. Make sure you head to InsideTexas.com. It's that first link in our description. Excited to see you over there. Join for $1 and get full year access to The Athletic. And then, of course, this Friday, Red River Reunion at Texas Live in Arlington. We'll be there with the Oklahoma Breakdown. We'll be on at 12, and Mac Brown and Barry Switzer will be there as well. Great cause. The American Heart Association Bear Bryant Awards should be a lot of fun. So, Justin, Charlie, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time on Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel.